Donald Trump's presidency is one PR stunt after another. He is never trying to accomplish anything besides grifting for himself or attacking his political opponents. He just wants to put on a big show and pretend he is the big, macho, tough guy. It's why we see Trump attend so many sporting events. But now, with MAGA turning on him over his Jeffrey Epstein scandal, it looks like that's going to be happening a lot less, because what happened today is probably going to become the norm, not the exception. And that is Trump being mercilessly booed to his face in a clip from the FIFA World Cup tournament that we are going to get into. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get to that clip, MAGA is always talking about getting politics out of sports, the opposite of what Trump does and the opposite of what Trump said, and a clip that I think is very important today.
But look at the soccer team, the women's soccer team. All of a sudden, they're not like they were. They were supposed to win the gold medal. But you know, the word woke means loser. If you're woke, you're going to lose. And ultimately, we're not going to let woke make this country into a loser. But you watch that, and I watched some of the people, and I was very proud that some of the young women on the soccer team stood up proudly, and they stood up proudly against all odds with what they have to put up with on that team. But the word woke is loser, and our soccer team did not get the gold medal, and they frankly didn't even come close to it. And we are, look, the country doesn't like it. I don't like it. And a lot of people have turned off the sports. LeBron James, they don't like him. The NBA didn't do great, but they did better after he was out. They don't want this. There's enough of it. They want to watch sports. They want to watch great athletes. They don't want politics in the middle of their sports games. And that includes the announcers, too. I hear some of these announcers, they're not big shots, that I can tell you, but I listen to what they say, and you just want to turn off the game. And many people do. You see the ratings, how bad they are.
Yeah. So that was Donald Trump attacking our U.S. women's soccer team because of woke a couple of years ago. Donald Trump gets to decide when something is or is not allowed to happen, when we want politics in sports. When we don't, Donald Trump wants to insert himself into every conversation, but doesn't like when those conversations don't favor him. And it looks like that won't be the case with anything going forward, because Donald Trump's base has completely turned on him. This Jeffrey Epstein scandal is like something we have never seen before. And it's the reason why Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are trying to get out, because they know that they need MAGA on their side if they're going to continue to grift. And grift is all that MAGA is really about. Just take a listen to Donald Trump before today's events with the FIFA leader in this clip right here.
And so FIFA is very, very interested under my presidency to develop a FIFA coin, to do it from here, from America, and to conquer the 5 billion soccer fans in the world. So if there's anyone here who is interested to team up with FIFA, here we are, together with the United States of America, and we will conquer the world of soccer with the FIFA coin. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That coin, that coin may be worth more than FIFA in the end. It could be quite a coin, actually. Huh? Anyway, thank you.
So Donald Trump is such a scammer that he's got the head of FIFA talking about a coin, and Donald Trump gets all excited at the mention of a way to grift more money from people. It's absolutely absurd. But what isn't is how upset the crowd was with Donald Trump today and during the game and afterwards, in clips we're going to check out, he was loudly booed. Let's take a look. Trump booed by soccer fans at FIFA World Cup finals. Cameras panned to Donald Trump during the FIFA World Cup final on Sunday, but not everyone was happy to see him. The crowd loudly booed as the Jumbotron showed Trump saluting, prompting the screen to quickly shuffle elsewhere, according to Washington Post White House Bureau Chief Matt Visor. A CBS journalist also reported that there were some very audible boos as Trump appeared on screen at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey for the finals between PSG and Chelsea. Trump stepped out to watch the game on the first anniversary of a failed attempt to assassinate assassinate him at Butler, Pennsylvania. But Trump's box was occupied by First Lady Melania Trump, Attorney General Pam Bondi, Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, as well as football star Tom Brady, media mogul Rupert Murdoch, and FIFA president. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff was also there telling reporters that he was planning to meet Qatari officials for Gaza peace talks. You can see the report here of Donald Trump being booed, but you can also hear him getting booed as he goes on stage. Just an absolute humiliation for Donald Trump. So much so that the president of FIFA, as you can see here, had to give Donald Trump a medal for his hurt little feelings. Yes, we have a petulant child and chief as our president. It is constantly embarrassing the way that everyone has to suck up to Donald because he is such a little baby. And this just goes to show how little world leaders clearly think of Donald Trump. Anyone at a high level in an organization knowing that they have to cater to him. And that is how Donald Trump likes it. He wants to use and abuse his power, especially on the world stage, which is something Chris Murphy ripped into Marco Rubio for in a takedown that I think is very pertinent right here.
I think what you've done to shutter USAID is illegal, but I also think it's bad policy, and I do think it's important for us to all be operating with the same set of facts. And the fact is not that only 12% of taxpayer dollars are ending up in the hands of the people who really need it on the ground. Mr. Secretary, I wanted to talk to you about the president's personal business interests. During his first term, he made the decision to not enter into any new business deals during his presidency, that Trump-affiliated businesses would not enter into any foreign business arrangements. And that made sense because obviously it can be confusing for foreign governments to know how to try to win favor with the U.S. government if they have one route, making concessions that are good for U.S. national security, and they also have another route, which is perhaps helping the president's business interests. The president obviously changed that policy, and in this administration, his business interests are announcing new agreements and new investments into those business interests by foreign governments. And I think it stands to reason that that creates a real problem for foreign policy, and it creates a problem for foreign governments in which they don't exactly know what the best way is to try to get on good terms with the U.S. government and with the White House. Is it to do what's right for American national security, or might it also be to do a business deal with the President of the United States or the entities that he controls? Just to clarify, when the President's businesses are engaged in negotiations, for instance, with the UAE on their stablecoin business, there was this big investment announced recently. You are not part of those negotiations. Those are being done by the president's family or those representing the president's business.
Yeah, I'm not aware the president's involved in managing any business. He's other than the presidency of the United States. His family is allowed to make business deals. They continue to operate the enterprises that his family ran. I also don't accept the notion that these deals, for example, in Saudi Arabia or the UAE or Qatar, had anything to do with the president. For example, the Qatar bought $200 billion worth of airplanes from Boeing. The president's not as far as I know, not a shareholder, certainly doesn't own Boeing. So the overwhelming, if you look at the deals that were structured, they were involved in investments in the United States. That's the deals he signed, and or investments in, for example, the UAE or Saudi Arabia involving artificial intelligence.
UAE did announce a massive investment in World Liberty Financial, and World Liberty Financial is controlled by the president. And the president does actively engage in these businesses. He uses his social media to market the businesses that are being run by his family. I mean, just go on to his social media feed and you will see him marketing his meme coins. So that is the president of the United States. That is not his son's doing.
But that, just to be clear, that was not part of this. That was not an announcement as part of this trade visit that was conducted into the Middle East.
Well,
whether
or not it was made during the time the president was there are obviously business deals being done between Trump entities and these and these countries. Let me ask you about the one that is probably most confusing to this committee, which is the planned gift of a plane to either the United States government or the president. Is it your understanding that this luxury plane that Qatar has offered the president, and the president has announced he is willing to accept, is a gift to the United States government, or is it a gift ultimately to the president himself that he can use in his library?
Well, you'd have to talk to the Department of Defense, because this is a replacement or at least a temporary bridge plane for Air Force One, the new Air Force One, which is way off its delivery schedule. And so that would have to be with the Air Force. They operate Air Force One. My understanding of it basically has been from the very beginning that this is a plane that was identified after talking to Boeing about what other planes around the world would fit the bill that are out there that could be used now. They identified the ones the Qataris had as an opportunity for one, and as a result, or the UAE had that as opportunity for one, and that's how that deal was.
And it's not your understanding that the plane ultimately will belong to the president or to the president's library after?
Well, I'm not involved at that level of it. I've never heard that before. What I've heard is that that plane will replace Air Force One, which is an Air Force plane.
Let me ask you about the dinner that's happening this Thursday night. The president has offered access to him to the 200 top purchasers of his meme coin. Reports are that maybe about half or more of those individuals who will be meeting with him, many in a VIP reception, are foreigners. Do you have a list of those foreign individuals who will be meeting with the president?
I don't. I don't know anything about. I didn't even know there was a dinner on Thursday night, so I'm not sure what you're referring to.
So you don't know whether any of the foreign individuals who are going to be meeting with the president this Thursday night, for instance, are on our list of sanctioned individuals, or whether any of those individuals have connections to, let's say, terrorist organizations abroad?
Well, I think if they had terrorist links, the Department of Homeland Security probably would not have allowed them into the country. But again, I don't even know there is a dinner on Thursday. You're asking me about something I don't know about.
Well, but listen, this is a dinner that the president is having. It is likely going to involve some very significant foreign interests. You have to be pretty wealthy in order to be able to get inside this dinner. Isn't that a relevant question for the Secretary of State?
Yeah, I'm not the social
which foreign
secretary,
interests are going to be speaking to the president? I mean, it's kind of naive to believe that they aren't going to be in that room talking about national security matters.
Well, I don't think that that's the case at all, because I would be aware if it was the case. The truth of the matter is I interact with government officials and others in governments of other countries. That's what I don't say. You're asking me about a dinner I don't know anything about. I can't answer you because I don't know anything about this dinner. It's the first I heard of it. Like I said, I don't keep the president's social schedule. It's not on my phone. It's not in my pocket. I don't even know. I can't comment on a dinner I know nothing about.
Yeah, I think that represents a real problem for this committee, because there is clearly a way around the State Department for foreign individuals of significant influence and wealth to be able to directly lobby the president of the United States.
But I don't think
your
that's
answer
fair.
is that you don't know this is happening.
Well, I don't know that there's
that
a dinner.
in and of itself is
I don't know that there's a dinner, and I don't know what the guest list is, but I can tell you.
Donald Trump is running an administration of crybabies and cheats. It is incredibly embarrassing that these are the people in charge of our country, but it just means we got to call them out even more, which is what we're doing on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.